Hey you guys, it's Molly with Design Loves Detail, and today we are checking out a guest room, which I'm so excited to share with you. This is over at the Flip House we've been working on for months, finally getting to style and do the fun part, at least according to me. So stay tuned for more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of future videos. We've got a lot more coming for you. We'd love to have you like and leave a comment as well. That helps us a lot on our channel. I can't wait to show you what I've got here today. So this space we have really transformed. If you remember back to how it was before, it was essentially like a sewing room, I think, and it had these floral curtains over here, and it was so 90s. The carpet was disgusting, like literally so dirty, and we had to get rid of it. So we started with a clean slate. We put down wood floors, which I love. It really cleaned up the whole home and made it kind of just without transitions between the different rooms. It really just simplified and made the spaces feel bigger. So of course we painted the walls. They actually were pretty neutral before, but they needed a fresh coat of paint because it was the 90s. This home was built in 1995, so it really needed updates in every way. But these curtains you can see are a lot more updated, current. I picked these up from TJ Maxx online. I will link some similar ones for you. I think they might have these exact ones, but check description and I'll put at least the closest I can find. They are lined linen, so they're kind of got a little bit of an airy feel, but still gives some privacy and coverage, of course, from the outside. I did my favorite curtain rods up here. These are from Bed Bath & Beyond. I use these all the time. You can check out my window coverings video to see some other ways I've used them. They come in a variety of finishes. This is the warm gold, so brings a little bit of that kind of satin brass type feel that we've used just sparingly in this home up to that ceiling, and kind of gives you a little bit of a more polished, tailored look to the space, which I love. So those were inexpensive. The rods are a great price, and they come in a bunch of different widths, and they have a really just minimalist look, which I really appreciate because it goes with any style of home. Also, the furniture that we brought in here is fantastic, I think. You can see these awesome nightstands here. I love the mix of this matte black with the little cane detail in the drawer, and then it has a little bit of like an antique brass handle there, which I don't know, just really I think gives it a classic feel while still being very current and on trend. So I love that mix. I wanted to keep this room having a really kind of earthy, organic feel to it. Hopefully you're kind of getting that from it. Bringing in some of the natural elements, like that cane detail, feels a little bit more of that organic vibe as well. And these lamps have that kind of unearthed feeling where they look like they could be like an old vase that was buried for years or something. Love that kind of stuff. And these are actually a splurge. I waited forever for them to be shipped to me because they sell out and then they're out of stock forever. In fact, I think they're out of stock now. And the price recently went up on them, so sorry, that sucks really bad, but they are worth it in my opinion. If you want a large scale lamp that's really solid and has this nice shape with the tapered shade, this is such a good one. Like, I just love it. Every once in a while I find a look for less, and I will share those on my Instagram stories. But in terms of the real deal, like really quality lighting, this is it. I love those, and I wanted to actually kind of counteract that investment and keep a more simple look. So I didn't do any decor on these nightstands, you'll notice. I just kept them clean, simple, with that lamp being kind of the big moment on those. So I did save a little money there without bringing in any other decor accents for the dresser top. Another thing I wanted to point out is this room is small. Like, it really is. I think it was something like a 10.5 by 11.5, something like that. So it's actually pretty small. I think it's totally sufficient. And I think that we use the space just right so that everything is well utilized and functional, but at the same time, we can't bring a dresser in here because there's just not room for it. So then that's why I went for these 3-drawer nightstands, because it definitely gives us some storage space in there and kind of acts as a dresser split in 2 sections. So that is another thing I really love about these. Again, find those in the linked description below. One of the details that I updated throughout this house that was relatively affordable was to switch out the hardware. This house had the old shiny brass, and I actually have that in my house, but they were in a lot better condition. These ones were kind of mismatched and in bad shape. So I just picked up these matte black ones that were a really good price point, and they have, I think, made the house feel a lot newer. You can also see little hardware here too. We just swapped those out. It was kind of an old brass knob there as well. And these were just a cabinet knob from Home Depot that I was able to add on there, and it really just freshens it up, keeps that high contrast like I was talking about. And you'll see even on the exterior ones, we got those as well. This light fixture is another really cute addition to the space. Kept it simple. It's the matte black and white again, but it just gives that little modern edge to make the space feel new and fresh and subtle. With that kind of going with everything else in the space, it's a great addition. You'll notice too in this room, I did bring in some symmetry. So we have the exact same nightstand and exact same lamp on either side. That really helps us keeping that minimalist, organic look that I talked about. That symmetry definitely plays into that, keeping it a clean, fresh feel. So over on the side, I did want to talk about how I did the draperies. The cool thing about this room is it actually has natural light on 3 sides. I think I might have pointed that out in the initial video when we did the walkthrough, because that was such an important factor to me for how this space felt. And so kind of drawing some attention to that with the window coverings I talked about, but the ones on either side of the bed, because it's of course a smaller space, I did only do 1 panel. So that panel can kind of tuck to the side and then just pull across when you need it. You don't need to have the 2 panels in this case because they're such small windows and we don't want it to be feeling too bulky with fabric up by the bed. I wanted really there to be some focus on this beautiful woven headboard. Again, bringing in those natural materials so that we have kind of just like a really good textural detail in the space. This is a really affordable one. I will link that for you. I think it's around $200. So not bad. And then I just got a really inexpensive bed frame that I'll include for you too, just a real reasonable option there. And I feel like it still has a high-end look, which is of course what we're always after, especially in a flip like this, because if we sell it furnished, we want to really get the best bang for our buck in all the furniture and furnishing decor type stuff that we bring in. So for the sheets, I think that white is always just a great option. It is something you could bleach and clean, and you know, if you have company, it's just easy to throw that in and do the whites. I don't know, I like white. It just feels like very spa and very like hotel. I like that high-end resort feel. So definitely I always think of white linens for that. These are just an affordable option though. Target, I think they're like a microfiber, so they're nothing fancy, but they do give us that fresh resort feel. And for pillows, these are from TJ Maxx. I shared these recently. They're kind of fun because they have that really great texture on the stitching detail, and then they are reversible. So you can also bring in a cream tone if you'd rather. This is kind of a gray with that perfect green undertone that is one of my favorite colors to use when decorating. You can see that same kind of tone, this kind of green gray feeling in this pillow. This is one from H&M. H&M Home has some really good deals. I love their stuff because it's, again, that more authentic textile look, but then they're still a really good price point. Kind of kept it simple with the pillows so that we can kind of have this, you know, there's a lot going on this wall, being that it is the main wall of the bedroom. Basically everything falls on this wall, so it was important to factor in the things that I wanted to be wow moments, and then the ones that I wanted to be a little more subtle. This white in the bedding, the pillowcases, and the sheets really gives us a reprieve so that we can focus on those details that I want to stand out, like the pillows, the nightstands, you know, lamps, and then this beautiful headboard moment too. Artwork is Home Goods find that is one of my favorites. Whenever they get in these acrylic shadow box art pieces, like, I buy them all because they're so perfect for my style of decorating, because it's just neutral, but then you just have a lot of real interest in the layers and the texture and the subtle, I don't know, I'm obsessed. You guys know I have one of these in my house that everybody's always like, where'd you get it? And I'm like, Home Goods. I know you have to go hunting for it, but if you find one, oh, just like buy it and be excited because they're hard to come by. Back to the bedding. I didn't talk about these down here, but I love to do layers of neutrals. I talk about white and cream a lot, mixing white and cream, because I totally do that. You can see that this one is more of a cream texture, and it has kind of a fun detail here at the bottom. It has kind of these little like tassel detail there, which I thought was really cute and kind of just fits in with the space and all the different textural elements we're bringing into this one. This waffle print blanket is a great little addition. I love to have a blanket at the end of the bed because it's functional. Sometimes you just want to pull a blanket on you, or, you know, grab a blanket and watch TV. So I always like to have one at the end of the bed. For guests, it kind of gives them different options. If they're too cold, they can put another layer, or, you know, just take it off if they don't. And it brings in, of course, that cute waffle print in another neutral, kind of ties in like the colors that I have in the curtains and then also in the background of the art piece. So it brings that kind of khaki tan tone here to the end of the bed as well. Moving on to the rug. This rug is one from Target from the latest Studio McGee release, and I've been really happy with it. I think I told you guys about it. It is so soft, and it's just got that plush texture to it, like it's a wool, I believe. So it's also really high quality, and it has the cute edge detail with these braided fringe pieces that brings in more of that organic texture. These are another Target find, so really affordable with the cute little stripe. It kind of brings a little bit of the darker color in because I love to have the contrast, even though I go for mostly neutrals. Having little pops of the kind of black or dark grays really gives it a more of like a complete perspective. It reminds me of my mother-in-law. She always, like, they used to own a smoothie shop, and she always is like talking about full-bodied flavor. It's like a thing in my husband's house, like, so everybody jokes about it's a full-bodied flavor. And so that's what I go for in home decor, is the full-bodied flavor, where you have kind of contrast on all ends of the spectrum, where you have the kind of a bright white and you also have like a really crisp black, so that high contrast kind of gives you both ends of the spectrum. These are kind of a nice in between because they have that stripe. You can see the texture in the fabric is really nice and has almost like, it looks like a linen blend or something, tweed type of fabric. And then these are nice too because they mix the element of the wood, and then this faux leather strap is just such a cute detail. Again, these little details are what make this space feel high-end and custom. That stuff definitely matters, and I'm always harping on it because it makes an impact in the design for sure. And you don't have to spend a lot to get a high-end look. Always remember that. Lastly, I have to point out one of my favorite things about this space, in addition to the natural light on 3 sides of the room, is that you have this perfect little view into that cozy patio space we created with the egg chairs. And so it's just so inviting to have that right off of this room. I think if you're a guest here, you would love having that indoor-outdoor view and that ability to just go out there right off of the bedroom with the door going directly outside. So I think that's like a big asset. It's almost like this is a casita, even though it's really not, but it could be. If you had a guest, you could give them the key to this door and they could even enter into this space, which is really nice for when you have people staying, but then again, they might not leave, so it's always the balance. Hopefully you guys love this guest room as much as I love showing it to you, because this one was one of my favorite spaces to work on and update. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of future videos. We are next going to be touring the laundry room, which is another exciting space. Lots of updates, and we'd love to have you following along. You can give us a comment and a like, that helps too. And we will see you next time.